Okay, so we all think we know the story of David and Goliath, right? It's the classic underdog story. But what if I told you we've been looking at it all wrong? That the real secret to this battle has nothing to do with who's bigger or stronger. Let's really dig into this.
Seriously, just asking that one question, it changes everything. Because when you really look at what happened, you start to see that there weren't one, but two completely different battles happening on that field at the exact same time. One was all about muscle and steel, but the other one? Well, that was about something else entirely.
All right, so first, let's get inside Goliath's head for a minute. From his point of view, this is just another day at the office. You know, it's a simple, physical fight, a contest of strength. And let's be real, he's the undisputed champ. So when this kid David shows up, Goliath doesn't see a worthy opponent. No way. He sees a walking, talking insult.
I mean, think about it. You're Goliath. You're this 9-foot-tall mountain of a man covered in bronze armor. And they send a shepherd boy. To you, that's not bravery. That's just plain disrespectful. It's a slap in the face to your power, to your reputation, to your whole army. It's basically a joke.
You can just hear the outrage in his voice, right? You expect me to fight a child? This isn't a real battle to him. It's a total farce. He's a professional warrior, here to fight other warriors, not some kid. His whole world is built on who's bigger, stronger, tougher. And on that scale, this is it's absurd.
And just listen to his threat. It's all physical, all about what he's going to do to David's body. And that's Goliath in a nutshell, isn't it? Everything about him is tied to the physical world, the world he can see, touch, and just completely overpower.
So here's the key takeaway for this first part. Goliath is the one who sets the terms of the fight. He's like, okay, here are the rules. We're fighting with swords and spears. This is a test of pure physical strength. And what's on the line? My pride. In his world, his opponent is just a kid. This is Goliath's battle, fought on his terms. But then, everything flips on its head. David steps onto the field, and he doesn't just say no thanks to Goliath's rules. He throws the whole rule book out the window. He's not there to play Goliath's game. Nope. He's there to fight a completely different battle.
This right here, this is the pivot point for the entire story. David looks at the giant, he sees the sword, he sees the spear, and he decides to fight on a whole different level. He's about to change the entire game. And bam! This single line says it all. In one sentence, David just completely reframes the entire conflict. Suddenly, the weapons aren't swords and spears anymore. They're faith. The fight isn't between a giant and a boy. It's something so much bigger. This is no longer about who's physically stronger. David just declared that this battle belongs to God.
And you know what's really fascinating? Everybody on that battlefield gets it, instantly. It's like a light switch flips. David's words don't just land on Goliath. They echo across the entire valley, and everyone watching understands that the rules have just changed.
Yeah, and it's not just the Israelites. Even Goliath's own troops are like, whoa, wait a minute. They're not scratching their heads. They are pumped. What was shaping up to be a really boring, one-sided squash match has just turned into a legendary showdown, man versus God. Now that is a fight worthy of their champion. And what does Goliath do? He doesn't even blink. He accepts the new terms on the spot. He completely stops seeing David as the enemy and instead calls out David's God directly. It's official. This fight has just gone supernatural.
Okay, so let's just lay this out side by side. On one hand, you've got Goliath's battle. It's man versus boy. It's all about physical strength, fought with swords, won by brute force. Simple. But then on the other hand, you have David's battle. Now it's God versus man, a contest of faith, fought in the name of God, and won by divine will. You see, David didn't just win the fight. He completely redefined what the fight even was.
So the big question is, how does a battle like this end? If it's not about swords and shields, and the real power isn't physical, then what does winning even look like?
Well, the physical part is almost secondary. That one little stone, that wasn't really the weapon that won the battle. It was just the proof. It was the physical receipt for a victory that had already been won on a spiritual level. Think of it like the period at the end of a sentence that faith had already written.
And check out how the crowd reacts. Nobody's shouting, wow, what a great shot, or man, that kid's got a strong arm. Nope. They see what happened, and they know exactly what it means. They confirm David's version of the story from the very beginning. God is with him. So the real lesson here, the thing we can all take away, is huge. This story isn't really about the little guy beating the big guy.
It's about something way more powerful. It's about the ability to define the battle itself, to change the rules so that you're fighting on the field where your strength, whether that's faith or smarts or creativity, is the one that actually matters.
And that really leaves us with one last thing to chew on. When David changed the terms of the fight, was he just defeating a 9-foot-tall man? Or was he revealing that the true giant on that battlefield was never Goliath at all, but the faith that stood against him?